Good evening. If you're one of my Year 11 history groups, you'll have had this set as your homework for this week. So I'm doing a breakdown video to help you sort of work out how you could answer this question. Obviously, there's another video breaking down the knowledge part of it, and you might just be coming back to revise this video at a later date. Let's dive straight into this question here. It says, explain why Hitler was able to reshape and take over full control of the German Workers' Party, the DAP. Let's just jump straight in, guys. This is a 12-mark explain why question. If you're a Year 11 watching this video, you know the 12-mark explain why pops up on Medicine, Elizabeth, and also the Weimar and Nazi Germany paper. It's the most repeated question. For a 12-mark question like this, you want 3 Peel paragraphs. That means 3 different points. When you get to the real exam, you might get a couple of hints in the question underneath it, sort of say you could talk about this, you could talk about that. But today, because I'm being a bit mean, I've given you just the question on its own to have a go at. So, what could you mention for this explain why question? Well, actually, you've got 5 options. These are all things that Hitler does to reshape the party and give himself more control. And I'm not going to read them out, but you can see the few there. Party policy, his appeal, the essay. These are all things that Hitler does to make sure he gets control. Now, one thing I want to really emphasise here, guys, it's not just good enough to give examples. Take this last one here. If you said Hitler sets up a group called the Brown Shirts that would parade in the streets, that's evidence. That's a good start, but to get full marks, to get higher marks, you need to make sure you're explaining why that gives Hitler more control or full control. You would have to go a step further and say they gave Hitler and the Nazi Party a sense of power in a dangerous time. They made him look ordered. He would use them to support him and heckle or disrupt other political meetings. When you're answering this question, guys, it needs to be a combination with the Peel paragraph of evidence, examples, and explanation. Let me give you one more, for instance. If you talked about this as one of your points, you could say Hitler reshaped the party policy by creating the 25-point programme, talking about uniting Germany into a greater whole. That's a great bit of evidence. But you need to explain, why does that give Hitler the power to reshape and take over full control? Remember, Hitler is putting his own ideas into this. So you would need to say something like, this meant that Hitler was able to bring his own ideas into the party and shape where the party was going in the future, therefore giving him more control over the party. This is really key, guys. It's a hard thing to get the hang of. Once you do, you'll get all those up to the 10, 11, 12 marks, which is what we want for you guys. So I'll say it again. You want 3 points. You choose any of these. Don't try and do all 5. Just 3 strong paragraphs where you use some evidence, some examples, and try and explain why that gives Hitler the ability to reshape and take over full control.